What then does it take for people to execute effectively in a way that makes the policy that is worthwhile, and to learn from that policy every step along the way so that they, in fact, become smarter as they move onward? Lots of people have lots of answers to this. Jay Forrester, the system dynamics originator from MIT, believes that nobody can execute effectively unless they've been trained to explore nonlinear systems, which basically means taking his course at MIT. And he sort of thinks that we're not going to have good policy decision-making until, you know, a couple of generations have gone by and people are used to computer models. And but let's assume that that doesn't have to happen. The basic problem with decision-making is that there's a difference in the time lag of feedback. If you're going to make a decision, let's say you are that decision maker in the cigarette company, or my favorite contemporary one, which is a risk that hasn't happened yet. Let's say you're a decision maker in a cell phone manufacturing company, and a report crosses your desk, as they have, that says that exposure to holding this shortwave emitting device next to your head does in fact produce brain damage. Speaking as a parent who has given cell phones to 2 of his children, this is a critical issue and one that I resolutely ignore. So I can just imagine how much executives of cell phone companies do the same. But let's say that you work for that cell phone company. The report crosses your desk, and you want to say something about it. The feedback that you will get from the people who count at that cell phone company is immediate. Let's say you want to propose a product like a cell phone for kids where you can't detach the extendable headphone. Okay, so you know that's a solution. So you have to actually introduce that in the marketplace, just like McDonald's introduced the McLean burger, which it's going to take you about 2 or 3 years to find out whether or not that is going to be a success or whether that's going to be absurd. You know, I mean, kids are not going to walk around with a headset that they can't remove. So the feedback to say no is immediate. The feedback to try something is about 3 years. And the feedback to find out if this is really a problem is going to take about a generation before we start to see brain damage occurring in epidemiologically large enough populations that we can then go back and attribute among all the myriad factors that it was in fact caused by cell phones. So there is so much reason to obfuscate that report, to say it doesn't matter, to say it's not an issue, to try to come up with countervailing proposals. You have every reason in the world to ignore it. And at the same time, the right thing to do is not to sort of get dramatic about it and say, okay, we're going to stop making cell phones. And there may well not be the requisite information that you need to make an appropriate decision. You have to make an appropriate decision. An appropriate decision is one, bear in mind, that is robust, whether cell phones turn out to be damaging or not. What does it take to have people in decision-making places who can make those types of robust decisions?